The cost of childcare in the U.S. is climbing, and here's why. A new report finds that prices rose 29% since 2020 and 2024. Now, the rise on child care cost is a huge impact on single women, parents who need to go to work and pay for somebody to watch their kids as they go to work. It's not an easy task to pay for daycare. The average annual daycare tuition for 2 children, 1 toddler and 1 infant, cost $28,000 just last year. That's about 35% of the median household price. So that's the price done went up. It shot up, rose up, and is climbing constantly, especially due to inflation and everything that's going on with the economy. Prices are rising. The percentages are no less brutal in higher income states. The cost of care for 2 children in Massachusetts is $47,000. Wow. And that's 44% of the state's median income. Now, I'm in Texas, and the cost of childcare varies in locations depending on people's income and the location, right? In Texas, the average daycare costs range from $500 to $1,900, and that's just depending on the neighborhood, the type of location, and the income restrictions. Urban areas like Austin and Dallas have higher childcare prices due to higher demand and operational cost. So this is the thing, knowing those statistics, the birds, I'm outside, y'all. The birds they're gonna do what birds do. But just knowing this information kind of scares me into having children. I don't have children yet, but it's like, if you don't have a village and you're a single parent and you're trying to work while also make sure your kids, your toddler, your infants are watched and have their basic needs daily while you provide for them on the side, to me that's really scary, because if you don't have a village, if you don't have anyone that's going to watch your kids for you while you work, then now you have to venture out into the daycare system. Childcare costs are through the roof, as well as inflation, and the economy is falling financially. People are losing their minds. The job markets are down, and now you have kids, and you can even barely pay to have somebody watch them. Rent is already through the roof. So now you add childcare on top of that, and that's climbing. And I feel like it's also due to, the childcare locations having to pay rent themselves, because their rent went up as well. And now the demand for children to go and get watched is higher, because we now have to work more, get more jobs. The average American has about 3 jobs right now, total, one person, because the economy is so bad and they have all these bills to pay. So the daycare system is doing that as well. And they have to pay their rent because it went up. They have to buy more food because more kids are coming. So it's supply and demand in the childcare system. So that's a scary thing right now. So anybody who doesn't have children, please think about that fact, that childcare costs is going up. Food is already through the roof. Groceries are already through the roof. So to feed these babies, formula, diapers, wipes, all this stuff to take care of these babies is higher. It's not a joke. And it takes a village, because the way inflation is going through the roof when it comes to children these days, they're even trying to take away Medicaid, specific benefits for people and kids that have special needs. So yeah, those statistics also say that U.S. families spend between 8.9% to 16% on just one child for childcare. So this is the thing about childcare prices, though. Let's get this understood. It can vary drastically based upon the child's age and the population size of the country. So when it comes to infants and toddlers based on the location and the community, then that's a big factor as well for the child care. Now, if I'm not mistaken, YMCA, I used to go there a lot with me and my brother when we were younger. And it used to be a thing where my mom would drop us off there and we would just be sitting there, and it felt like a prison almost. But that was another alternative to like going to daycare and stuff like that. We went to YMCA. And when I did look up the statistics for daycare back in the early 2000s, it was like $11 to $15. And let me just go back to it so I can get the right information. So looking up the statistics in the 1900s and early 2000s, daycare prices were so low. It was $11 to $15 per day. It was $11 to $15 per day. That's low. One source mentioned that an in-licensed home daycare charged around $11 to $15 per day in the late 1900s to early 2000s. Another source mentioned that the average weekly cost was $125 to $300 for full-time daycare. Now, looking in 2025, for infants, you have to pay around $9,000 to $10,000, and that's annually. And then you have the preschool programs that range from $7,000 to $12,000 annually. So it looks like it's depending on the age of the kids, like the infants and then the toddlers. Thinking back into the early years of my life and my childhood, my mom was a single mom, and we stayed home a lot of times, or she just watched us, or we went to work with her. So daycare really didn't exist with us because we just did what we had to do, or she did what she had to do. But just looking at daycare prices these days is pretty sad, and I feel for anybody who has to get and pay for daycare for their child and doesn't have a village to help them out with their child. So it just has me thinking, like, I specifically know certain people, some people that have a village, they have their mom watching their child while they go to work and provide for their child, and that's amazing. And then I do know some people that literally have to work from home because they don't have anybody to care for their children, so they have to do that on top of working. So it's kind of hard, out here. And then, so we already have inflation, like I said before, prices going up, rent going up, all of these things going up, car insurance. And now we have child care prices going up. And then they did say that the Trump administration is not doing anything to help that fact. So that's just a little news for you. If you like this video, please click subscribe and like and comment in the comment section and let me know what you think about these videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.